This is Radford Hyde from Sierra Vista again. The other day I presented a litany of reasons why the Cochise County Jail District was set up as a scam to create a $350 million slush fund. Over the next few days, I'm going to get into a little more depth on each of the points I made and perhaps bring up some other points I missed in the initial video. Today's topic is going to focus on the first and biggest problem with how the jail district and its tax were put on the ballot. The fact that the entire process was unconstitutional from the start. The county and their hired political consultant, High Ground Inc., made up a completely fictitious method to bypass the Arizona Constitution and deceive the voters. There are only two legitimate ways to get an issue on the ballot at the county level and below. One is an initiative, and second is a referendum. That's it. There's not a third option. There's no legal process called a question. Yet the county went ahead and invented this question out of thin air. Why? Because they wanted to avoid the constitutional requirement of gathering signatures from registered voters, signatures that would have shown actual citizen support for putting this tax measure on the ballot. Under the Arizona Constitution, for an initiative, the county would have needed 15% of the electors to sign, to have valid signatures from them to get it put on the ballot. That's 12,900 valid signatures that were required if it had been an initiative. For a referendum, it's a little less, it's 10%, which equals about 8,600 signatures. But instead of following the law, they decided to sidestep the electoral process entirely and form a so-called citizens committee that consisted of a mere 12 people. I lovingly call these 12 people the apostles of Cochise County. Let that sink in. 12 individuals, somehow selected. I'll try to figure out how that happened and present it in a later video. They were falsely presented as representatives of 86,000 voters. That is not how a representative government works. The entire jail district election was built on this fraudulent foundation. The result, the tax initiative that would burden Cochise County taxpayers for the next 25 years should have never even been on the ballot in the first place. The process violated the Arizona Constitution, making it illegal from the outset. And yet, the county pushed forward with it anyway, ignoring the very laws designed to protect citizens from government overreach. If they had followed the law, this measure wouldn't have even made it to a vote. Instead, we got a sham election based on deception, all so that the county could secure a never-ending slush fund disguised as a necessary tax. This is not just an oversight. It's a blatant abuse of power. The county and their advisors deliberately manipulated the system to avoid giving voters a real choice. If they had to go through the legitimate process of gathering signatures, they knew they wouldn't have gotten enough support. So instead, they rigged the system, manufactured an illegal pathway, the question, the illegal pathway to the ballot, and shoved this tax right down our throats. The bottom line on all this is the jail district tax should never have existed, and its fraudulent origins mean it must be repealed immediately. Thankfully, the newly elected Board of Supervisors is working to correct this entire mess. If the county wants to try again, they should do it legally by following the Arizona Constitution and actually letting the voters decide the right way. I'll be back in a few days with another point from my initial video going into a little more detail. So please subscribe and like this video and share it. That way we'll get the news out to all of the people who were deceived in this entire mess so that perhaps they will understand what actually happened with this dumb jail district. Thank you very much and talk to you soon.